Hey everybody, we are here at Rising Sun Music in Tampa, Florida with John Seda, studio
Hello.
owner. I'm Mark from Somnium Guitars. And in the studio, you do so many different types of music and we'll show you the wall of guitars, so many different types of guitars. How do you decide what guitar you're going to use for a particular song?
Depends on the genre. Um, Different, humbuckers are good for certain things. Actually, a lot of times clean music, but also the Strats do that too. Um, and so I actually test it. Like I'll play the music back, and I'll go grab a guitar, and I'll say, no, that's not the one. Until finally I find the one that does the trick.
So when recording for different genres, you don't have any, like the Strat is my reggae guitar, or the Ibanez or whatever it is my rock guitar. You don't necessarily have an exact guitar for a
No,
particular.
not really. My favorite guitar is the green guitar. I told you the green monster.
Mhm.
So, but that's because I've had it for many years. It's a personal thing. But no, I don't have a preference, to be honest with you.
Okay. So you own a Somnium guitar, which of you who don't know, it's a modular guitar, so, which is not what people are used to. It's a Strat, a Les Paul. These types are just standard, one set of pickups. Modular. Why did you could have bought a couple more if you wanted more sounds. You could have just bought another couple more standard guitars. But why did you get this instead?
Because it's different. It's not like any other guitar that's out there. Um, and I didn't want to buy another guitar, add more guitars to the wall. The advantage of using this guitar is that you can remove the pickups, see? And whoa, and this is where everybody goes, oh, right? So, and the fact that I can go and, change different setups, like for example, got a humbucker here, right? And this one is this the EMG? No. Oh, this is the R66.
Mm-hmm.
This,
It's still an active. It's an active humbucker.
It's active humbucker, right? And then this is a Les Paul style pickup, and then I've got some Strat pickups, and then I've got another EMG active, and another EMG active. I think this is the bridge one. Right? So the thing is, you saw how I was just grabbing pickups. I can sit down with one guitar instead of having to stand up 20 times and go through a bunch of guitars, right? There is something special about this guitar because I'm a maple neck guy. So I'm not too big on rosewood. I like ebony, but so the neck is fine for me. And the fact that I can just swap pickups and do all different kinds of configurations. And then you helped me design this, right, where it's not like a normal telly. This is closer. And so this way I can do, swells. And then this little device here is, I call it the secret weapon. That's for the R66, and that turns up the distortion.
Yes, right. So you've got the ability, you just showed us, to swap all these different pickups. And some of them were active, some of them were passive, which is something that no other guitar does. How do you find, does that option work out? Do you mix and match?
Well, I love it. Actually, you did a video one time about the telly pickups. And the fact is, because I could take this pickup and swap these around. You couldn't do that if you bought a telly, So I'm.
But these are both passives.
Yes, they are.
Do you mix them with actives?
Yes, I do. I've done it before. I've actually taken the EMG and used it on the top here, and then use this one on the bottom. Or sometimes I'll use this one, which I like a lot, with the Les Paul style pickup.
The Gibson.
Yeah, exactly. So, and that's not active. That's passive.
No,
so,
that's a passive. Yeah.
Right. So, I like the fact that I can do all these different configurations. Flip of a switch.
Well, otherwise, the more guitars you have, the more guitars you have to keep in tune when you're picking up, switching from one to the other.
Right.
So, more maintenance and more work for you.
That's correct. You save time. You save a lot of time. And not to mention, let's say, for example, I think the next month I want to be traveling to Miami, and they want me to do a lot of guitar work. I'm going to be just taking this guitar, because I have a Mazda Miata, and I can't put that many guitars.
Can't put six or seven guitars in a Miata.
So, yeah, exactly. So I'm taking that one, and it's like I'm carrying 5 guitars. So this is for a lot of people it's different. It kind of blows them away. But think about it. Let's say you purchased your own home studio, right? And you're on a budget.
Well, I think a lot of people watching record at home.
Right.
Now with computers, the software, the nice mics, everything
Right.
is you can do a lot of really good stuff, cool stuff at home.
But let's say, for example, instead of buying 5 guitars, you just bought this guitar. Now you got one piece. Now you got the laptop, and you get a bass, obviously,
Mhm.
and then you make basses with changeable pickups. So you can keep your setup. Not everybody has a big room, right, to do these type of things. And I think that's one thing that, as a guitar player to another guitar player, is something to think about. And you might want to really consider trying this guitar because, or not just particular guitar, but Mark makes different designs and it's custom. You can build anything you want. And I'm thinking about getting another one. I've been watching this one with the four knobs and all the switches.
Yeah, we call that our tone blender. It allows you to it gives you more control over each pickup.
Well, for the studio, that's important because if you know a little bit about mixing, and if you don't, I will try to make an easy explanation. It's all about frequencies. So each pickup has a different frequency. So if you use different pickups on different parts, it's going to be easier for mixing, and it's better for imaging. You'll hear a different. Now, if you use the same guitar, like I said, for example, on every single track, you're going to have this homogenized, like kind of masking type of effect that happens. And so with this guitar, if you're like really into keeping your setup concise, right, not too big, this is the go-to guitar.
Hmm. When you're recording, are there any particular pickups that you found are kind of your favorites here?
I like the MGs, and I also like these tele, pickups. I really like. It's hard to say because it depends on, like I said, on the song. I might put a pickup that I think is great, but then all of a sudden it doesn't match with the song, and it doesn't, because sound is if you hear what you like, you play better, and that's what it's all about, and that's what I like about this guitar, the fact that I can make it play better by just changing a pickup.
Well, and that's a question that I think a lot of people have is how does it sound? Because all right, well, you've got a Gibson humbucker, but it's not in a Les Paul.
Right.
So I mean, does it sound good in this guitar because it's in a completely different instrument?
Right.
And as you're switching, how does it sound? Obviously you're using it. You've had this for several years, so you wouldn't still be using it in your studio. But that's the main question. Is it's modular. It's got a hole in the middle, but does it sound good?
Oh, it sounds great. I mean, I can't show you weight, but this thing is heavy. So density helps with sustain, and I think that has a lot to do, especially with this guitar, the fact that these are metal plates, touching the wood, right?
Yeah, it's the aluminum ring system
Right.
that locks the cartridges into the guitar.
Right. So if you look like this, if you can see it, I don't know if you guys can see it. It's this frame is inside the wood. Now it helps, in my opinion. I feel that it helps make it resonate more because I've got an incredible amount of sustain out of this guitar. And the way you designed it is what anybody can actually. Once you buy one of these cartridges, anybody can change it because it's solderless.
Right. It's just screwdriver. Put your wires into the terminal so you can put any pickups you want anytime.
Right. So it's so imagine. Just imagine. I mean, it would take time, but I think that people that record and are serious about something don't mind spending. Let's say they only had one guitar with one set of pickups, but they had a pickup sitting around with another guitar. They can take an hour and change it up and just change the wiring, and all of a sudden they got another pickup.
Well, changing the wiring takes about 5 minutes.
Right.
So
exactly.
From one cartridge, yeah.
Right.
Just replace a pickup in the cartridge.
And I know that's not normally something that you would do, but I've been in instances where we went the extra mile to get the best sound. And if that's what it would take, and then you couldn't do that with a normal guitar because
you'd have to desolder it. You have to take the strings off and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have to do that with this. I've also noticed too, and I did it as an experiment one time on a song. where I actually took this out and I played the bottom pickup,
without any pickup
and
in
there
the
was
top.
this resonance thing happening. And because if I play the strings on top of the hole, it's almost like, you know what I mean? Like it created this more open feel.
Mhm.
Maybe it's not incredibly noticeable, but I noticed it. And
Well,
so,
this is what you do every day for a living.
right.
Yeah.
So anyway, with that being said, you know, it's make sure that's in there. So there's all different types you can do, and this thing, this actually this pickup, see, this something is amazing. This is a hexagon pickup. Did I say that correctly?
Hexaphonic.
Hexaphonic. Okay, sorry.
So,
Hexaphonic pickup.
for those of you who don't know what hexaphonic pickup is, it means it has six separate coils, actually pairs of coils. So there's 6 humbuckers in here, one for each string. That's where the hex comes from.
Right. So imagine, I mean, if you wanted to be like eccentric and, you know, really way out there,
Which musicians,
you could put a
pretty
multi-pin,
much every one of them.
right. You could put a multi-pin connector with and plug it into 6 amps, correct? Or
Well,
would be-
this particular pickup isn't designed for that. The reason for that Somnium R66 hex pickup is that instead of like this, you've got all your strings running through one coil.
Okay.
So all of them are being picked up simultaneously as a bunch. With the R66, each string has its own sound picked up separately, and then it gets blended afterwards. So you get more clarity, more separation between the strings.
Okay. But I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you could use this for a synth pickup, correct?
Not that one, no.
Not that one, okay.
No, that's it's designed to be a humbucker beyond the normal humbucker. It's 6 humbuckers in one, but still have a standard stereo output.
Yeah, and the truth is, this thing sounds really cool. It has a unique. I mean, you could take this pickup and go to a little jam session. You know, sit in, and you don't need to bring a pedal with you. I mean, you can actually use this as a distortion pedal in a way. I mean, I've done that before, where I didn't have to carry my pedal board.
Right. Well, what John's talking about, he mentioned earlier. He mentioned his secret weapon knob on the.
Should I show him?
Yeah, go ahead and tell him what that secret weapon is, because that's a knob that only works with the Somnium R66 pickup.
Right.
So that's because it is designed to have variable gain out of the pickup itself. That's when John says, I don't have to bring my distortion pedal. The pickup is built in with 40 decibels of gain built in.
Well, and you know how sometimes friends invite you to go jam and stuff like that, and you just want to, you know, be light and stuff. That's a lot of that's pretty heavy right there.
But is that gain coming out of the? Do you have the amp on a clean channel?
Yeah, everything's clean. But there's a little chorus here. Take that off.
Now turn the down.
I think it's all the way up right there.
It's all the way up.
But that's a beautiful blues sound, right? You know.
And if you turn it down, if you turn the gain off on the
Hear that? You could do like this, you know. I've turned it down. So that's without a pedal.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, years ago, you remember back, I think Hendrix did it, and Frank Zappa did it. I think Jeff Beck and was it Eric Clapton? They had kind of like a preamp type of thing, and it would do something similar, but not like this. You know what I'm talking about? It's almost like a little tone blaster, like there's something that would make it come out. You know, I call it tone blaster like the guitar, but there was a. Remember those LP ones? You ever heard of those before? They used to
No.
plug them into the guitar, and it was like a little distortion thing. It was thing from the 70s.
Okay.
Some people actually took that apart and put it inside the guitar. And I saw, I believe it was Hendrix who had one where the knob was right here, and it was the same exact knob. So when he did that crazy distortion, when that thing was like pure fuzz, but I'm able to do that with this. So if I wanted to get a really blaring sound, I just take the distortion pedal and boom.
Sure.
Now you got fire and a
Yeah.
bunch of noise too.
Right. Well, the R66 pickup, everything's self-contained. You don't have any distortion circuitry
No.
in this guitar.
No.
It's all self. So if you want that, like you said, great feature, you just pop it in and you can control that. But
Right.
then you go back to clean, go back to your tele setup.
Right.
You just pop those out and you're back.
And you know, you said something earlier, so let me just show this. Like, say for example, do I mix passive with active, right?
Yeah.
So when I first met you, you let me use the wooden one over the walnut. Was that a walnut one? What was that one?
It might have been. We did make a walnut.
The one that was
guitar.
a clear, and you let me use it for about a month or so, and I did some videos on it. But anyway, I had these two pickups. Let me see. Make sure I got this right. There we go. No, it's not. All right. You have to be careful when you put it in because you can't have it angled. It's got to be straight down. Okay. So now this right here. So it's a nice clean sound. So if I want to make it deep low, right? Then I go to passive. Of course, it's passive with distortion.
Active. Is that you got passive bridge, active neck.
Now, so this is active and passive.
So you get some of the clarity of the passive.
Exactly. And I like
get that overdrive of the.
Yeah, I like it. What's cool about that is that, you know, I do that in recording sometimes where I'll do two tracks and one is with the dirty and one's with the clean, and then I can take the clean and manipulate it, use flangers and all kinds of stuff for layering. And at one point I want to talk to you about designing something like that where we could get a stereo output, and I know it can be done.
Yeah.
So because can you imagine the possibilities? Remember, this is something that you can get custom made. So if if your imagination runs wild with you, he can build it.
Yeah, well, it is a semi-custom guitar. I mean, the standard configuration where you can snap the pickups in and out is in every Somnium, but you wanted the controls a little bit different. You wanted the Kaler system, and of course the custom graphics came out gorgeous, which I can't take credit for painting. As a great artist friend of John's that here in town that did all this beautiful background on that, and that's John's lovely wife Sachiko is on the guitar as part of the scene. Yeah, you're right. It came out gorgeous. Yeah, and we can do all kinds of stuff.
Actually, the guy who painted it, Robert Brown, he recommended that I put my wife on there because Mark wanted to call it the Rising Sun, and then he said, well, how can it be not the Rising Sun if Sachiko is not on the guitar? And that's how it ended up being that way. And it's funny because I have a lot of people that come here. Yesterday they took pictures of it, to take it with them. But this is a different. How do you say that? Different. It's like a different mindset. If you look at a guitar and say, "Well, I can do anything with two pickups," yeah, maybe, possibly. People play incredible, right? And they actually got tone in their hands, right? But this gives you the capability of even taking it to the next level, So if you could do great with two pickups, imagine if you could do with 11, 12, or how many pickups you want to use in your configuration. Not that you can't play them all at the same time, but it just takes a couple of seconds to change it.
Well, like you said, depends on the genre of music. So what's appropriate for rock isn't appropriate for pop, or for R&B. You're doing what suits the song. Like you said, a pickup, you thought that you liked this pickup a lot, but it just doesn't work for that song.
Well, I just want to, even though this is a little bit different subject, but I'll say it quickly. So, I use Vox amps primarily. And the reason why I like Vox amps is because I've noticed in the past I did use Fender, Marshall, all these different, PV,
Mhm.
Sun, everything on the planet, right? But I noticed with Vox, I could pretty much do any genre, and it kind of goes with it. This is like this guitar, I can for me it's important because I've had people ask me, why do you do so many different genres? Because first of all, I like it. I love music, and I think there's a hit in every right background of it. It's great country music. There's great metal. There's great, all
Sure.
kinds of stuff. So I don't. I actually enjoy it, and it's good for my mind and soul that I can be able to work with some wonderful people that can do different styles of music. And it was funny, but the other day I started my YouTube channel, and the guy who records here, uh, he's from Serbia. He was saying, "Hey, John, you like this song and all this stuff." And it's kind of cool when you have, when out of the blue, somebody like that who's from in a different country, does a shout out. And especially the locals, I thank everybody for helping with the YouTube channel. It's at John Music, at John Seda Music. If you can subscribe, that would be awesome.
Yes, and since we're on the subject,
Mhm.
tell us about some of the new projects that you have up and coming, because like you said, you cover a wide variety of artists, of genres. It's a studio that anybody could come to, and we do encourage you to subscribe. Rising Sun Music. We'll put the links down below.
Mhm.
But yeah, tell us about some of the new artists and new projects that you're excited
Well,
about.
a very special lady I'm working with. Her name is Elena Romanova, and she's from Russia. She just recently moved to Miami, but I've been working with her for over 10 years now. And we're very close. She's like a daughter to me, and we recorded on my birthday, which was really cool. And we did this really big song, and she's an actress, singer, but man, she has pipes, right? And so me and her, as the years gone by, become closer because we realize that we like the same things. And even though I don't announce it that way, but I am into theatrical music because I write a lot of big songs with a lot of changes and stuff like that. And I was one like I kind of like that Broadway stuff, like the movie Sweeney Todd with Johnny Depp. I just like that, like the
Mm-hmm.
real theatrical thing. So I'm getting this wonderful opportunity now where I'm working with a person that can sing like that, and I can put the music, and we get together, and it just happens like magic.
Mm-hmm.
Also working with Sharon Laurent, a great country singer. She writes incredible songs about her life and the experiences she went through. Sadit Marcus, she's totally different. She's more funky, but she's an incredible lyricist, incredible songwriter. My brother Mike McMorrow, he does a lot of blues stuff, and it's fun with him because he's got the deep voice, so he's
Yeah.
got like that how thing, going on. And there's many more. And if I did mention you, please forgive me because it's hard to remember everybody.
Well, we're on YouTube. We're keeping it brief. So please do come subscribe. Subscribe to the Somnium Guitars channel, and like us as well as John John Seda and Rising Sun Music.
It's at youtube.com// at John Seda Music. John Seda Music. I got
Yeah,
it.
we'll put the link at the bottom. But we want to thank you all for being here, John. Thank you so much for being a supporter of ours and
Yeah.
for talking with our audience about what you do here, man.
There you go.